Hello out there, my beautiful viewers. Welcome to the Complete Football Pod. My name is Mike. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for your time. If you're new to this channel, please do like, share, and subscribe. It will go a long way. I would really appreciate it. Without taking much of your time, real quick, I want to give you an update about transfers. So many things that happened so far. In fact, before the season ended, and immediately the season ended, so many teams has been making one or two transfers or one or two signing. I said in my previous episode, there's something weird this season, in my opinion, about the number of teams that either sacked their manager or the manager left on mutual consent. So now we have a lot of clubs that needs a managerial position filled, and some had actually filled up the managerial position, while some are still, in the hunting, trying to get a manager for their team respectively. So now I'm going to talk about some few clubs, like 4 or 5 clubs. But first of all, let's start from Chelsea. Now, Chelsea, we all know Mauricio Pochettino has been sacked, or let me say, they said he left with mutual consent, but we all know all those things are just formalities. They could not agree on something, and one thing led to another, and they just decided, like, you know what, let's call it a quit. So now the hunt for a new manager has been underway. Immediately we heard the news Pochettino was leaving Chelsea. Now, so many people were not happy with that decision. I wasn't happy with the decision, even though I know it's eventually gonna happen. But I wasn't thinking it was gonna be this season, especially when Mauricio Pochettino, turned the tide around. Chelsea finished strongly. It got to the Carabao Cup final, and also the semi-final of the FA Cup, which Man City defeated Chelsea. So I felt, okay, they should just give him one more season, because of how it turned things around. But I think Chelsea hierarchy already made the decision before the season ended. So now Pochettino is gone. They had 4 managers that they were trying to consider in Sebastian Hoeneß of Stuttgart, Enzo Maresca of Leicester City, McKenna of Ipswich Town, and also the Girona coach Mikel. So now, in my 2 previous episodes, I said something about, among all these candidates, in my opinion, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. In my opinion, I don't think any one of them is that really, qualified to take Chelsea to the next level. If Mauricio Pochettino, a more experienced and more high-profile coach than any of those 4, could not, really do the job. I'm not saying they might not do it, but I just think, Chelsea, we know Chelsea for winning trophies, and that's what Chelsea stands for. So any of those 4 candidates, I said, if I would be among those people, those committee in Chelsea, if I happen to be among them, there's one candidate that really, I won't say stand out for me, because all of these 4 candidates, they are young, and that's what Chelsea want to do. They want to go young with their next manager, and they are young. And one thing that I see about one of those candidates, which is Enzo Maresca, the Leicester City manager, is one thing: he has worked under Pep Guardiola before. That is one plus to me. If you listen to my 2 previous episodes, the episode where I said it was I think a Man City Tottenham game, and also I chipped in the Pochettino sack, or Pochettino left Chelsea. I said the only thing I would take from those 4 candidates is Enzo. The only person will be Enzo Maresca, and the only thing would be because he had learned under the best. Now, you all know I don't hide my feelings about Pep Guardiola. To me, he's the best coach ever, one of the best ever. In fact, I would say it's better than Alex Ferguson, because I have my reasons. Don't get me wrong, it's my opinion. I have my reasons, because you could see a lot of people developing under Pep Guardiola. But how many people did Ferguson How many people did he train? How many people has worked under Ferguson and now they're doing export everywhere? I don't think there's any, or if there is, there are not as many as under Pep. You can see Arteta was under Pep as a manager. He learned as an assistant manager. Maresca was also an assistant of Pep Guardiola. Now he brought Leicester City from the Championship to the Premier League. Vincent Kompany learned under Pep Guardiola as a player. Xabi Alonso learned under Pep Guardiola as a player in Bayern Munich. Xavi Hernandez learned under Pep Guardiola as a player in Barcelona. And these guys are now coaching and they're doing well. Cesc Fabregas also learned under Pep Guardiola as a player at Barcelona also. And Pep also, Cesc Fabregas would be coaching the club Como in the Serie A this season. They brought them, from the Serie B to the Serie A. They were promoted. So you can see my point why I said Pep Guardiola has created more better coaches. And I think there are so many players that would eventually venture into coaching that would be better. I saw a video where Pep Guardiola was asked about who does he think in his Manchester City squad last season that would be a phenomenal coach. He said Ike Gundogan. Gundogan, the way you see him play, you would see this understanding. His understanding of football is very great. So back to the Chelsea managerial situation. So I said Enzo Maresca would probably be the person I would just give a try. I'm not saying I don't think he can really do a job, but if you want to go young and you want to back a manager, you want to give the manager time, give Enzo Maresca the time. And fortunately, he has been appointed as the new Chelsea manager. I think the Chelsea hierarchy, I think they're watching this podcast also. So, because if not, I just said it some few days before, even before before they decided to start getting new coaches. But at the end of the day, the person I predicted, Enzo Maresca, became the new Chelsea manager. So that's that about the Chelsea situation. They've actually sorted their the managerial situation. And according to Fabrizio Romano, the reputable journalist, he said Chelsea will be doing a lot of business this season. Chelsea will be looking forward to get, I think, a goalkeeper, another goalkeeper. I think Sanchez will probably be out. David Sanchez will be out. So it's going to be Petrovic and another goalkeeper, probably who will challenge him or who can compete with him for the top position, for the top spot. Then also, Chelsea will be bringing in one or two centre backs. Before Pochettino left, we heard that he wanted Araujo, the Barcelona guy, to replace the outgoing Thiago Silva. So Araujo would be a lot of money because he's a really important figure in the Barcelona team. So let's see what Chelsea would do. One or two centre backs, and also Chelsea would be bringing in a winger. And about the winger, I don't know how many winger Chelsea wants to bring in, but they already signed a wonder kid in William Esteval. Oh my God! If you can go on Google or YouTube, watch William Esteval. Is from Palmeiras, the same club Madrid bought the new wonder kid Endrick. That guy is, is a mini Neymar and Robinho together. The dribbling skills of this guy is second to none. His coach said he has not seen any player of his age play the way he plays. I've seen the guy's highlight. This guy is so good. He's so good. He can dribble anyone. And according to what we're hearing from Chelsea, inside Chelsea, they don't want to loan him. He's going to come in, he's going to learn, and he's going to be integrated into the first team because of how good this guy is. Remember the name, William Esteval. Go watch his clips or his highlight in the on the internet. And also, Chelsea will be looking into bringing another striker, which we can all agree Chelsea need another striker. And they're looking towards a guy, a Slovenian guy, Benjamin Sesko. He's from He's from Slovenia. He plays for RB Leipzig. He's a really, really good player too. He could, compete for the top spot with Nicholas Jackson. And I don't think he's as wasteful as Jackson because I've been following him for a while. I think he has 14 goals this season, and he's a very good player. He's kind of tall. It's like 6'1" or 6'2". I mean, so if Chelsea can, do all this business or all this transfer, Chelsea might be more stronger next season. And with the new manager Enzo Maresca coming in, his philosophy, style of play, similar to Pep Guardiola, as you can imagine, similar to Arteta. So let's see. Next season, if all things goes well for him, next season is gonna even be more competitive than this past season. Then another club I'll be talking about is Barcelona. Now, Xavi Hernandez has been sacked by Juan Laporta, the president of Barcelona. Now, there was at the point before the season ended, he said he was going to leave. After that, they said he was staying again. But at the end of the day, I think they couldn't find, they couldn't come into like times to work together, and both parties decided to go separate ways, and he was fired before the end of the season. I think before the last game of the season. So now he's been fired, and Barcelona has actually replaced him with Hansi Flick. Hansi Flick is this German coach that won the Champions League for Bayern in 2019 when they played PSG in the final. They played PSG, Thomas Tuchel, in the final when this French guy, Kingsley Coman, scored I think a header. It was during the COVID time, so many people might not really know because of what was going on in the world as at that time. But he was the coach then, and he really played some exciting football. Even though his style of play was it was a bold way to play because he plays this high line defense, and I don't think he could play the same way with Barcelona because of the kind of players Barcelona has. He could play that style with Bayern because of Bayern has fast defenders. Alphonso Davies, Matthijs de Ligt. I think who was in there then? Who was there to the right back? I can't remember who their right back was in that during that time. But he has some fast defenders, so he could use them. He could play that style of play. So, but I don't think Barcelona has that kind of player. So he would, but he plays a good style of football. So now he's gonna be the next Barcelona coach. And according to Xavi Hernandez that just left, he said there's going to be a problem for him because the only thing that can save his job is winning games, because Barcelona is in a bad place financially. We all know that. When COVID hits, it really hit them pretty bad, and we all know there was a mismanagement of fund by the ex Barcelona president Bartomeu. So that's that for Barcelona. Then for Bayern Munich, as eventually, we all know Thomas Tuchel said he was going to leave at the end of the season. Almost the same saga with Xavi Hernandez. At the point he said he was going to stay, but later on he made some demands, and Barcelona could not meet up with those demands. Bayern Munich could not meet up with those demands, and both parties decide, it's perfect time to say goodbye. So now Thomas Tuchel has left. Now they've appointed Vincent Kompany. Now, if you follow my podcast very well, I said something about Vincent Kompany. First of all, he learned under Pep Guardiola as a player. Now, if you see the way Burnley plays in the Premier League, you would know Vincent Kompany is a good coach. In my opinion, so many people are kind of divided, with this appointment. Why would Bayern go from Thomas Tuchel to Vincent Kompany? I personally, in my opinion, I think it's a great choice because this guy plays exciting football. I said in my previous episode that if Vincent Kompany gets better players than the players he has in Burnley, with all due respect to Burnley players, but we all know the budget he would get to buy players in Bayern Munich would be massive than what he has with Burnley. So Him being appointed as Burnley coach, you can see the way Burnley play, even with the low budget they have. They play exciting football. The build-up is like a world-class team. He plays from the back. You can see. That's what I'm saying about Pep Guardiola. Anyone that learned under him, that has been influenced by Pep, they have their own style. They have this, uniqueness about them. And Vincent Company as a player, we all know how good he was. That mixed up with what he has learned from Pep, mixing everything together would take him places. So he has been signed on a 3-year deal from Burnley to Bayern Munich, and I think Bayern Munich will be paying Burnley a sum of £12 million in compensation, just to because I think he had a long contract with Burnley. I think till 2029 or something. Or 2028. I'm not really sure. So now, as at this time, Vincent Company has been confirmed Bayern Munich Bayern Munich manager. And there's something about Bayern Munich. They have a culture in Bayern Munich, and that culture is kind of funny. But anyone playing with Bayern Munich, you can't drive any other car. You can't bring in any other car into the training ground except an Audi, or I think a Bugatti, or I think any car that's made. That I think you can bring in a Volkswagen. Any car that's been made by Audi, you can bring it into the training ground. If you bring another car that is not a Audi Pro, you can't bring it into the training ground. A player did it one time. I think he brought his BMW, Kingsley Coleman. It was told to park outside the training facility. So if you're planning to go to Bayern Munich in the future as a player, this is the culture over there. You have to drive. I think everybody gets an Audi car, or an Audi brand. So you have to drive an Audi. If you're driving inside the sporting complex or inside the training ground, it has to be an Audi. Or if you want to go expensive, you can drive a Bugatti, so I heard, or another, I think a BMW or something. But no Mercedes-Benz is allowed, no Toyota is allowed. I don't think any Lamborghini is allowed, but I think Bugatti is allowed. So that's the culture. Vincent Company has to adapt to that culture too. Now, let's move to Juventus. Juventus in the Italian Serie A. Now, Allegri was Juventus ex-coach. He was sacked even at the end of this season after he won the Coppa Italia. Even though he won the Coppa Italia, which is equivalent to their FA Cup in the Italian Serie A, he was still sacked by the Juventus upper hierarchy. So now Juventus has replaced him with Thiago Motta. We all know Thiago Motta, the mercurial midfield player, the strong midfield player. He's played for Barcelona in his early days. He's played for PSG. He's played for Inter Milan under Jose Mourinho, and he was Bologna coach this season. And Bologna will be coming to the Champions League because of how good they were under Thiago Motta. And now I was thinking they would probably go back to Juventus will probably go back to Antonio Conte, but I don't think they want to go that direction anymore. So they want another progressive style of play, because I think one of the reasons they had to make away with Allegri is because of his style of play. I don't think he plays that exciting style of play that the team or the fans want. And Allegri is a very, very hard head. If you see him, very policy, he sticks to what he wants to do. I think they would allegedly think is so hard to work with. The same thing with Antonio Conte. They say they're very hard to work with. So after he won the Coppa Italia, they defeated Atalanta, I think 2-0, and they still fired him. So Thiago Motta is now the new coach for Juventus, and he's been given a 3-year contract. Now, the next team I'm going to talk about is West Ham. Now, David Moyes already made it known before the end of the season that he will be leaving West Ham, and mainly because I think there were a lot of complaints about his style of play. He's kind of too defensive minded, and so after the end of the season, the last game was, I think he played the last game against Man City. Yeah, the last game was against Man City. So they he said goodbye to West Ham, and West Ham immediately appointed Julian Lopetegui. Lopetegui was the ex Wolverhampton coach, and one thing I've seen about this guy, one positive thing I can say about this uh, manager appointment about for West Ham is that Julian Lopetegui is a very I think is a more experienced, very very experienced coach, because he has coached Real Madrid, he has coached Sevilla. I know he has coached Sevilla before. He has a lot of he has won the Europa Champions League with Sevilla before. He has a lot of experience in European competition, so that's a plus for me for West Ham. His style of play, I'm not really a big fan, but he's okay. He's I think as a matter of fact, he doesn't play that defensive minded game David Moyes plays. He's more, he's not that attacking style of, coach, but he plays a balanced kind of, he plays direct. Let me use the word direct. He plays direct. So that, and his vast experience in different, tournaments in Europe, it's a plus for West Ham, and he had a little bit experience in the Premier League also with Wolves. So I think let's see where he's gonna take West Ham to, how far he's gonna go, because he's a winner. Let's be sincere. He's a serial winner. He has won the Europa League, and if you've won the Europa League, you're not. I mean, we can say you've won a trophy in Europe. That then you're not like every other coach that has not really won anything. Then with AC Milan. Yeah, I'm going to talk about AC Milan now. AC Milan, their coach, Stefan Pioli, agreed with the club hierarchy was going to leave at the end of the season. Another player that left was Olivier Giroud. Olivier Giroud has played his last game for AC Milan. Now is going to Los Angeles FC in the United States. So, Stefan Pioli has done his part in AC Milan. He has left. Now, AC Milan has also replaced him with Paulo Fonseca. Paulo Fonseca is I think he's a Portuguese guy. He's a Portuguese coach. He's the ex-Roma coach. I think he coached Roma before Mourinho took over Roma, and presently was the coach for Lille in the Ligue 1 in the French league, and now he's been appointed as the AC Milan new manager. And he plays a good football too. I think he has coached Shakhtar Donetsk before also. He plays like the 4-2-3-1 formation, which which gives him he's a coach that deals with he likes possession, having possession of the ball, which I think would suit AC Milan with the caliber of players they have. And one other team I want to talk about, let's say two other teams I want to talk about is Napoli and Man United. With Napoli, I think that according to Fabrizio Romano, there's been a contact with Antonio Conte to take over the job at Napoli, but he has not yet decided if he would accept the job or not. So they feel he has always wanted to coach Napoli, and they see this as an opportunity for him, but we don't know yet if he's going to accept the job. And with Man United, they're still cooking something behind the scene about if to still keep Eric Ten Hag or not. I think they're not going to keep him. I think they're going to just let him go. And I think he's been cocky lately since he won the FA Cup. He's been saying, if that's the end of the road, then so be it. I would go somewhere else. I win trophies and I do that, And I think that's from a coach that knows that the club is going a different direction. I think he already knows they're probably gonna be. Let's be sincere. They would have probably have told him they're not gonna stick with him anymore. So let's see what's gonna happen in the few days coming before the Euro starts. Let's see what's gonna happen. Let's see the direction Man United would go. Let's see the direction Napoli would go. This is going to be the end of this podcast. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for staying with me. Bye for now. See you next time.